We all hear about AI and its promise for this incredible future, right? A world where everything gets cheaper, better, and just easier for everyone. But what if that whole promise could be hijacked? We're about to dive into a fascinating theory that argues our current financial system is actually set up to turn AI's gift into the biggest wealth confiscation event in modern history. Let's get into it.
So this is the core claim, right here. It's a pretty bold prediction that just flips the whole utopian vision of AI on its head. The argument isn't that AI itself is bad, not at all. It's that the system it's being born into is basically designed to siphon away all of its benefits from you and me. So how on earth could that happen?
All right, so how does this theory actually work? Well, it all starts with something really positive, the idea that AI is about to create a massive productivity shock. Think about automation, advanced robotics, machine intelligence, all making the stuff we buy and the services we use exponentially more efficient to produce. Now, in a different kind of system, one with what some people call sound money, think of something like gold, where you can't just print more of it whenever you want. This AI-driven efficiency would be a huge win for everybody. Your money would actually buy more tomorrow than it does today. Everyone would just naturally get wealthier as the cost of living goes down. Sounds pretty great, right?
Here's the catch. We don't live in that world. We live in what's called a debt-based fiat system, where money, like the US dollar, can be created out of thin air by central banks. And according to this theory, that system absolutely needs inflation, prices constantly going up, just to keep from falling apart. And this sets up a direct collision course between amazing technological progress and our entire monetary system.
So what happens when AI's incredible efficiency actually starts causing prices to fall? This is a phenomenon called deflation. Now, in a normal world, that would be a reason to celebrate. But in our current system, this theory claims it's treated like a full-blown five-alarm crisis.
And here's why. This is the core tension. Think about it. Your mortgage, your car loan, your student debt, those are all fixed numbers. If prices and wages across the whole economy start falling, that fixed debt payment suddenly becomes a much, much bigger piece of your shrinking income. The real weight of that debt just skyrockets. This threatens to bring down the whole house of cards for governments, corporations, and regular households. So what sounds like fantastic news for us is seen as a mortal enemy to the system itself.
Okay, so if falling prices are the crisis, then how does the actual confiscation happen? Well, the theory predicts a specific chain reaction, a series of steps that policymakers are likely to take to save the system.
The first response, as the theory goes, is something we've all seen before. Central banks and governments will intervene by creating truly vast amounts of new money to fight off that deflationary pressure from AI.
They'll use all the familiar tools in the toolbox to flood the system with cash. But, and this is the most important part, the goal isn't to create genuine prosperity for you. It's all about propping up prices to make sure that governments, big corporations, and homeowners can still afford to make the payments on all their old debts. It's about keeping the entire credit system from imploding.
So where does all this newly printed money actually end up? The theory predicts it doesn't really find its way into the wages of everyday people. Instead, it gets funneled directly into financial assets, stocks, real estate, the things owned by people who are already wealthy. And the result? Asset prices go to the moon while regular wages stay flat and inequality just explodes. The value of your savings is destroyed and the productivity gains from AI are effectively confiscated.
Now, as this gap between the asset owners and the wage earners gets wider and wider, people are going to get angry. Public resentment will grow. People will start demanding to know where all that promised prosperity from AI went. And in response, the state will step in with solutions that, according to the theory, are really all about increasing its own power and control.
And the theory anticipates policies that look a lot like these. They'll probably be marketed as wonderful ways to share AI's benefits or to ensure fairness. But the argument is that their true purpose is to consolidate surveillance and control over every single part of our economic lives. And the final piece of this whole puzzle, according to the theory, is something like a universal basic income, or UBI. To calm everyone down, the government rolls out a monthly payment for all citizens. It sounds so compassionate, right? But in this theory, it's described as the ultimate tool for control. And this leads to a really powerful question. If these UBI payments are digital, let's say through a central bank digital currency, they could be programmable. Your spending could be monitored, it could be restricted to certain things, or the payments could even be revoked entirely. Your eligibility could become political.
making any kind of descent an unaffordable luxury. So, is it really a safety net, or is it a leash?
So after painting this, well, pretty bleak picture, the theory doesn't just leave us hanging. It presents a totally different vision, a parallel system that it claims is completely immune to this whole cycle of confiscation and control.
Here, the theory lays out the two futures side by side. It suggests that an alternative like Bitcoin, with its fixed, unchangeable supply, completely breaks this cycle. In this model, AI's productivity gains are just allowed to do what they do naturally, lower prices. And that increases everyone's purchasing power, it rewards saving money, and ultimately, it leads to individual freedom instead of state dependence.
So where does all this leave us? Well, according to this theory, we are standing at a major crossroads. The exact same technological breakthrough, AI, could lead to two fundamentally radically different futures, all depending on the financial system we choose to build it on.
This right here is the core warning. It's the whole thesis of this argument wrapped up in one sentence. It's a prediction that unless we change the underlying monetary system, technological progress won't set us free. It'll just be used to prop up the old structures of power.
And that leaves us with this final, provocative question. This isn't a prediction that's set in stone. It's a choice that we are actively making right now. As AI continues to reshape our world, the financial rails it runs on could end up determining everything. Will it be a tool for our liberation or the mechanism of our control?